Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Tom. Today I'm going to talk about my top 20 personal favorite albums from 1972, plus a lot of honorable mentions at the end. So let's get started here with number 20. This is the fifth album from the band Poco. The album's called A Good Feeling to Know, and this is probably up to this point their most commercial sounding album with Richie Furay. The previous four albums were kind of modest successes, but this one they were trying to be a little more commercial friendly, I guess. But the title track got a little bit of airplay back in the day. Still does occasionally. But there's some great songs on here by Timothy B. Schmidt. One is called Restraint on the side number 2. Restraint is the number, not restraint. And another one is called I Can See Everything. Great ballad on side 1. And then you got And Settling Down, which kicks the album off from Richie Furay, which is a great little rocker. But my absolute favorite on here is by guitarist Paul Cotton, a song called Ride the Country, a great mid-tempo kind of country rocker. And then they do a version of Go and Say Goodbye by the Buffalo Springfield from their first album. So this is coming in at number 20, Poco's A Good Feeling to Know. Coming in at number 19 is the Allman Brothers album Eat a Peach. This is coming off the heels of Duane Allman's death in '71. Half the album is studio recordings. The other half is live recordings from the Fillmore East. Side 1, in fact, is tracks recorded after Duane's death. And there's another side with tracks recorded before Duane's death. Of the tracks recorded after Duane's death, I love the whole side, actually. Ain't Wasting Time No More. The side ends with Melissa, which is one of Greg Allman's greatest vocal performances, very heartfelt. Then on the side that has that features the last recordings of Duane Allman, you have One Way Out, Trouble No More, Stand Back, the classic Blue Sky, great solo in the middle there by Duane Allman, and then it ends with the lovely Little Martha, last song recorded by Duane Allman with Dickie Betts. Nice little ballad with dueling twin acoustic guitars. This is coming in at number 19, the Allman Brothers Eat a Peach. Coming in at number 18 is the second album from the Kinks from the RCA period. Everybody's in Showbiz. Has some of Ray's greatest observations about life on the road in the early 70s. Songs like Motorway, Here Comes Yet Another Day, Maximum Consumption. Has a couple of Ray's greatest ballads from that era, Sitting in My Hotel, and the classic Celluloid Heroes. You have a Dave Davies song on here called You Don't Know My Name, and then there was a single called Supersonic Rocket Ship, which now is getting a lot of attention on streaming services and television. Then you have a second album on here, which is a live concert from, I believe it's probably 71 or early 72. The Kinks at their most loosest, starting off with Top of the Pops from the Lola album. And you've got a lot of live, loose versions of songs from Muswell Hillbillies like Holiday, Acute Schizophrenia, Paranoia Blues, the title track Muswell Hillbillies. But the ultimate track on the live side is Alcohol. This is the definitive version of Alcohol, in my opinion. Just very, very theatrical and funny, and Ray at his best live. So this is coming in at number 18. Not my favorite Kinks album, but I'd still rate it a great 4-star. And this is coming in at number 18. The Kinks, Everybody's in Showbiz. Coming in at number 17 is Neil Young's Harvest. Coming off the heels of After the Gold Rush. This is his most commercial album up to date. At this point, I think it hit number 1. And Heart of Gold 2 hit number 1, which is on this album. My favorites on here would be Needle and the Damage Done, Old Man, Out on the Weekend, and the title track, Harvest. My least favorites would be There's a World, a little overproduced, and I never really cared for A Man Needs a Maid, but still a fine Neil album. I still think After the Gold Rush is better, but you may think different. That's fine. This is coming in at number 17, Neil Young's Harvest. Coming in at number 16 is considered one of the high points of prog rock. Yes, it's close to the edge, and I have to agree, it's definitely up there. I love And You and I. That's always been a favorite Yes song. The title track is epic. Siberian Cat True ends the album. Fantastic album all the way through. One of the best prog rock albums. This has the classic John Anderson, Bill Bruford, Steve Howe, Chris Squire, and Rick Wakeman lineup. Bill Bruford would later leave the band after this and join King Crimson. This is coming in at number 16, Yes, Close to the Edge. Coming in at number 15 is Lou Reed's second album, Transformer. This is what put him on the map. After years of relative obscurity, starts off with Vicious, which is probably the most rocking song on the album. The album is very eclectic, has a lot of different styles. It has the hit Walk on the Wild Side. My favorite songs on here, though, are Satellite of Love, with some great backup vocals from Bowie. And by the way, Bowie and Mark Ronson produced this album. It also has some campy stuff like Make Up and Andy's Chest. Perfect Day is a classic ballad from Lou. Coming in at number 15, Lou Reed's Transformer. Coming in at number 14 is singer-songwriter Loudon Wainwright. This is his third album, album 3, known for the kind of one-hit wonder Dead Skunk. Has a lot of great songs on here, though. Red Guitar is fantastic. B-side has some of his best ballads. Say That You'll Love Me, Needless to Say. Just a great singer-songwriter album from the early 70s. This, along with his album 2, are my favorite Loudon Wainwright albums. Good stuff here. This is coming in at number 14, Loudon Wainwright, album 3. Coming in at number 13 is a transitional album for Joni Mitchell, For the Roses, coming right after the heels of Blue. She changed labels, signed with Geffen, and this is her first album for Geffen. This has a slew of amazing songs. Cold Blue Steel and Sweet Fire, Bar and Grill, and the title track on side 1 are just absolutely amazing songs. You Turn Me On, I'm a Radio was a single and a kind of a semi-hit. And Electricity is one of my favorites on side 2. This is Joni incorporating a little more jazz elements into the sound, which would really flourish on Court and Spark in the next 2 years. But one of Joni's best albums, I'd put this in her top 5 of my favorite personal Joni Mitchell albums. For the Roses, coming in at number 13. Coming in at number 12 is, in my opinion, the last great Rod Stewart album before he became really commercial and disco-fied. You Wear It Well was the big hit. Starts out with a really great rocker called True Blue. I believe Ronnie Wood's playing on that. He does a lot of covers. Angel by Jimi Hendrix, great version of that. He does I'd Rather Go Blind, just a great version of that song. And then you have Twisting the Night Away, Sam Cooke song, ending the album on a high note. It's a very short album too, but I like Gasoline Alley and Every Picture Tells a Story better, but this is definitely in the trifecta with those two albums. This is coming in at number 12, Rod Stewart, Never a Dull Moment. And we've got Todd Rundgren's Something Anything, a great double album, but like all double albums, it does have a little bit of filler, but there's so much content on here and so much style changes. It's just fantastic. Some of my highlights on here would be Couldn't I Just Tell You, which is a great power pop song. Some dark stuff like I Went to the Mirror, The Night the Carousel Broke Down or Burnt Down. That's a great song. There's a lot of like ballads on here, like Marlene. He just really goes full out on all different vibes and genres and styles. Ends with Slut, which Big Star later covered in live performances later in the career. This is a great album, and to me, along with Herman and Mink Hollow, my favorite Todd Rundgren albums of the 70s. Number 10 is Steely Dan's debut, Can't Buy a Thrill. A great debut, but not my favorite Steely Dan album. They would immediately change styles after this, go more of in a jazz direction, but Dave Palmer kind of sparring with Donald Fagen is kind of odd, and I really just prefer Donald Fagen's voice on all the tracks. He's the personality and the personality and the vibe of Steely Dan. So you got Reel in the Years and Do It Again, which are big hits, but my favorites are the non-hits. I like Fire in the Hole, Only a Fool Would Say That, and Turn That Heartbeat Over Again, which ends side 2. This is a great debut record, and only better things to come in the later years of the 70s for Steely Dan. Coming in at number 10, Can't Buy a Thrill by Steely Dan. Coming in at number 9 is Richard Thompson's first solo album, known as the worst-selling album in Warner Brothers history. Basically, it's just a very great folk rock album, a lot of great folk rock songs, not a lot of instrumentation, just great melodies. I love Painted Ladies. That's one of my favorites. Nobody's Wedding. Shaky Nancy. There's just so many great songs. His wife, Linda Thompson, at the time is providing backup vocals. Just a really great album. I highly recommend it. Richard Thompson, the album's called Henry the Human Fly. Coming in at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Randy Newman's Sail Away. This is my favorite Randy Newman album from start to finish. Starting off with the title track, ending with God's Song. It's just one great song after another. Lonely at the top, He Gives Us All His Love. Last Night I Had a Dream. Simon Smith and the Amazing Dancing Bear and Old Man on side 1. Political Science, starting off side 2. Burn On. But there's a song here that is absolutely my favorite. Dayton, Ohio, 1903. Has just such a cool kind of mysterious little dark vibe about the turn of the century and the folk and how they lived. Love that song. Love this album. Number 8, Randy Newman's Sail Away. Coming in at number 7 is the third album released by Nick Drake, Pink Moon. Sometimes I veer between this and Brighter Later, but I always go back to this one. It's very sparse. There's just vocal and guitar and nothing else. A little bit of piano on the title track. Very dark, but very just, it's like he's playing to you in his living room. Of course, his mental state would really deteriorate from here on, and he'd record a few more songs that would later appear on the Time of No Reply compilation. But just a masterwork here. This is a 5-star album. Pink Moon by Nick Drake. Coming in at number 7. Number 6 is Genesis Foxtrot. And this ranks high for me because of the song Supper's Ready. To me, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, prog rock piece of all time. If you have time, go on YouTube and check out some of those old Genesis concerts with Peter Gabriel. And the performance with Peter Gabriel is just mind-bending. The track is mind-bending. It has so many different parts. You wouldn't think they would all go together, but they do. The ending of Supper's Ready, Peter Gabriel's vocal is so cathartic. It is just one of the great moments ever in rock. And then many other great songs on here, like Watcher of the Skies, Timetable, but just that song alone puts it this high on the list for me, Supper's Ready. Genesis Foxtrot coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is TRex's The Slider. This is probably my favorite TRex album. This is one great boogie tune after another. Baby Boomerang, Telegram Sam. I love Rabbit Fighter, Buick McQueen. This is one of those just perfect rock and roll albums, you know, just hook after hook, great song after great song. And I think I like this one even better than Electric Warrior. This is coming in at number 5, T-Rex, The Slider. Coming in at number 4 is the first album by Big Star number 1. This is a promo copy. This is a very first pressing. An incredible debut by an act that is finally getting their due and recognition. The songwriting on here is just fabulous. Alex Chilton and Chris Bell are just a great pair, writing like Lennon and McCartney. The Ballad of El Goodo is one of Alex Chilton's best. In the Street is a classic, also used for the 70s show. It's really weird about this album is the first side is very upbeat, power pop, and the second side kind of slowly descends into more melancholy, but it's all fantastic. Side 2, Watch the Sunrise. Try Again, beautiful. 13 on side 1 is one of Chilton's best ballads. Number 4 on my 72s list, Big Star's number 1 record. Okay, coming in at number 3 is just an absolute classic, a soul classic, Stevie Wonder's Talking Book. This is my favorite album by Stevie Wonder, next to Inner Visions. Just amazing songs. I got to read some of these songs out here. Let's see. You've got You Are the Sunshine of My Life, a big hit. Maybe Your Baby. That goes on a little too long, but there's beautiful songs on here. Tuesday Heartbreak. You Got It Bad Girl. Of course, Superstition, the big hit. Blame It on the Sun, and Looking for Another Pure Love. Just gorgeous stuff. And then it ends with I Believe When I Fall in Love It Will Be Forever. Featured in the movie High Fidelity. This is just a masterclass in songwriting and genius. Stevie Wonder's Talking Book from 1972, coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. This is a perfect album, along with Hunky Dory, the one before it. Starting off the glam movement here with style. 5 Years, Soul Love, Moon Age Daydream, Starman. I've always loved It Ain't Easy, ending side 1. Side 2 is just a plethora of amazing stuff. Lady Stardust, Star, Hang On to Yourself, and then the trifecta of Ziggy Stardust, Suffragette City, and Rock and Roll Suicide, one of the all-time great albums. Great Great, great stuff from Bowie. What a great songwriter he was. So Ziggy Stardust coming in at number 2 on my 1972s list. And then number 1, you really just can't beat it. Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street. One of my top 3 favorite Stones albums. Starting off with Rocks Off, one of the great starter offs of any album. And going through a lot of different styles, blues, a little bit of folk, country, gospel. I Just Want to See His Face is interesting. You got one of Keith Moon's greatest songs, Happy, that he sings. All down the line, just great rockers. Rip This Joint, Tumbling Dice, Sweet Virginia, one of my favorite country kind of ballads of the Stones. Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street coming on number 1 on my list. And then I've got a few honorable mentions. I've got J.J. Cale's Eventually. This is probably one of the most mellow guitar albums of all time. Great stuff. Has After Midnight on it, which Clapton later covered. Call Me the Breeze with Lynyrd Skynyrd covered. Another great album, Manassas, with Stephen Stills, Chris Hillman, and others. 2 albums that came out in the same year by Al Green. Let's Stay Together, great stuff. I'm Still in Love with You. Got Paul Simon's first album, Brinsley Schwartz, Silver Pistol, great stuff. You got The Mothers, just another band from LA with one of my favorite live Zappa tracks, Billy the Mountain, hysterical. We've got Brian Auger's Oblivion Express, Second Wind, great tracks on here, Freedom Jazz Dance, and the title track, Truth. And then we've got Jackson Browne's first album with a lot of great tunes, and we've got Honky Chateau by Elton John. 1972, what a year, folks. What a year. What are your favorites from 72? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a good one, and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.